Welcome back to the weekly news roundup, and we're going to ask this question: is Meta evil? I mean, we've always kind of had this idea, but they just did another fun thing, and then they're called out by Wired, and then they backtrack like, well, we were just doing something to see if we do. You do not test. You do not test what you're doing by deploying it out to 500 million apps on an automatic update. Okay, that's not pondering, but we just haven't made a final decision. No. Y'all were caught. Y'all were skinny dipping. The tide came in, and we know who was skinny dipping. All right, but of course, to start this off, I want to go back over a decade ago. In fact, this is almost 15 years ago when Facebook decided that without any form of human review board oversight or getting any compliance or any permission, which is absolutely required in academic studies, they actually did an academic study in conjunction with Cornell University, which was a human study, a human psychological study, where they would actually go in and put certain users always got a more negative timeline and other users got a more positive timeline. And they were basically assessing moods and information. Of course, this never went through a human review committee. This never happened to get any consent of anybody involved. Nobody was aware they were involved in an experiment. Facebook just said, hey, we have this massive list of people. We want to test out algorithms. Let's just go ahead and see if we can get half of them to engage in self-deletory things by showing them depressing stuff all day long. And this isn't some conspiracy theory. There's actually a published article about this. This is Informed Consent in the Facebook Emotional Manipulation Study. In my opinion, Mark Zuckerberg, every other CEO who had any knowledge of this should absolutely be spending 20 years in prison for engaging in psychological experiments with teenagers without knowledge or permission or consent. And in a sane world where this isn't Mark Zuckerberg with all his DARPA backlog, he would be. No, he still just keeps on going on with his creepy jacket with like the Eye of Sauron or something on the back. Have you ever seen that? That's kind of neat. But there was actually entire research articles looking at their research article. Also, every researcher at Cornell should have been terminated. The entire program at Cornell should have had serious sanctions. This should have been serious news, but it never really was because it was Facebook, and we just didn't know how much this worked. Of course, they always build shadow profiles on us as well. Of course, the shadow profiles, no, I'm not interested in giving you my crap. Just like multiple pop-ups. I know, granted, the first one was a stupid cookie consent. But of course, Facebook still uses shadow profiles. So if you're a guy like me who does not use Facebook, of course I did a long time ago, and then I got rid of it because I recognized that it was indeed evil, and I got rid of it, and I don't want anything to do with Facebook, to the point where the only way you can prevent Facebook from following you around the internet is to do blocking on your end. Now, if you're just on web browsers most of the day, you can install something like Privacy Badger, which is by the EFF, and that's a really good application that will actually block those Facebook trackers. But the Facebook megapixels going around the internet, they collect information about you, is what you're doing. The other way is, and this is what I think we need laws against, and that is, we have phones, and you know somebody, you put their name in your phone. Well, if those people who put your name in your phone have Facebook will just pester you, if it works at all, until you decide to share your contacts. Well, I did not consent to Facebook having any information about my contact, but a whole bunch of people who would all have my name in their contact list on their phone and all using Facebook. Oh yes, Facebook, you can share my contacts. And now 13 different people have given my name and my phone number to Facebook. Now they get to engage in the digital, probably AI-powered stuff, where they get to go around the internet now and figure out exactly who this mysterious Switch to Linux weirdo is. And they're like, we just can't find anything about him, man. He's too good at blocking us. But it's this funny thing. I actually have server-level stuff on my entire network. Anything on my network becomes invisible to Facebook. Outside of one application, I have to punch a hole in my firewall for one of my clients. I need to do a lot of stuff for Facebook over there, which is fine. I have have a controlled way to do it. But did you guys actually know there's a way you can go into Facebook and delete your shadow profile? Yeah, it requires, of course, going over to Facebook and then giving them your information. So I don't know. Hey, Facebook, don't track me. Here's all my information. You trusted me. Yes, this is a company so evil. They set up their own road. Like, they go in, they build a compound, what used to be an empty lot. And what is the name they intentionally chose for their company? One hacker away. Okay, so you're giving information to a hacker. Okay. But yeah, this article here, which is actually, I thought this might be old. This is actually only February. So this is a fairly new article here on what they're doing. You may have managed to go all this time without ever making a social media account. Facebook could still have your information even if you've never set up an account. So they still have your email address, cell phones, or landline number. The reason is there are these hidden accounts called shadow profiles. But profiles created based on data gathered from various sources, such as contacts uploaded by Facebook users, websites with Facebook tracking pixels, and other third-party data providers. So even if people you're friends with share their own contact information on Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and were in their address book, Meta, the parent company of these evil applications, likely has your information. Meta may also have your contact information. It was collected through various business tools. And so then, of course, how does Facebook use the data? For hacker things, of course. Providing our services to these sites or apps. You don't need my information for that. Improving safety and security on Facebook. I'm sorry, they are not doing this. That client that I mentioned, one of my jobs is to go through and the messages that the company gets and parse out what is a scam and what is not. And those that are not scams, I direct them to the various people they need to contact with. But hands down, in fact, just this last week, within one day, I received the same exact email from multiple different separate profiles, all with the same name, all with the same logo, copy-paste script, and I've been dealing with for 5 years. Facebook, you are not using this information to protect anybody. But we are going to get into what they're actually doing and that they know about this. We're going to get into this in one of the articles because it is certainly one of those things that makes Facebook one of these ones on this. Yeah, I think you're evil list. And of course, enhancing our own products and services. Screw your privacy and security. We're enhancing our services here. Why? Money! Money! It's the root of all evil. Actually, the love of money is the root of all evil, by the way. Not love, not money itself. Even so, shadow profiles have been a subject of controversy and criticism due to privacy concerns. You think? A company I choose not to do business with is following me around the internet like a crazy stalker? Oh boy. So how do you move your information? If you're currently not or never have been a Facebook user, here's what you can do. All right, so you got to go to the Meta's help page. There's information for people who do not use Meta products. Go to the heading that says how non-users can exercise their rights. Okay. There will be a link that says click here, which will take you to a web page where you can ask Meta to remove your contact information. Of course, you just need to give them a mobile number, a landline, an email address, and hit next. Enter your phone number and or your email address. Get a confirmation code. Select the platform you want to be removed from and click next. And of course, that'll probably be a one-time thing. And the next time it goes, somebody else opens up their Facebook app and goes, hey, would you like to share your contacts? Yes, I would like to share my contacts. And boom, they got it again. It's like, you got to do this like every day. It's part of your morning routine. Got to do the 3 S's, then delete yourself from Facebook every morning. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of crazy. But this kind of gets a little bit interesting because what they did more recently, obviously facial recognition has really been in the news with this company because of their Ray-Ban Meta glasses, Meta smart glasses, right? Facial recognition code raises new concerns. So the challenge here, we'll cover in this article kind of the basics here around the controversy, and then the next article actually gets into what they actually did, which is neat. And so technology could be misused by stalkers, abusers, or others who want to identify people in public without drawing attention. Now, Business Reform did a video looking at how you could block people from taking your photos or more or less listening to your phone conversations. Literally, he's talking about testing those different devices, like on V for Vendetta, right? You know, you go in and the chief inspector puts up that little thing that scrambles it so the guys going around the surveillance vans can't listen on your private conversation. So he does it. Actually, V did it at one point in time when he's talking to the inspector under the guise of being that one dude, Underhill, I think. And so now literally we are in a world that because of Facebook, among other companies, we now, if we want to have a private conversation, we're going to pull out this scrambler, put it on the table and turn it on. So some crazy psycho 4 booths down can't listen in and record your conversation with their smart glasses. We are in this world, folks. We have reached 1984, which is what V for Vendetta was heavily based on. And so Pennsylvania, woohoo, my Pennsylvania state here, has a bill that will require smart glasses and similar wearable recording devices to include a visual indicator light, and the bill also would make it illegal to disable that. Now, I don't think the bill goes far enough. Burn it with fire. Ban these things altogether, Pennsylvania. Just ban them all together, please. Or give us complete impunity if we see some psychotic moron over there staring at us with blinking Ray-Bans. Give us pure immunity if we go over and knock him in the face. Whack! No! Obviously, I do not advocate for any form of that, but it is... you have no expectation of privacy in a public space. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I want a psychopath walking around with smart glasses recording and seeing everything I do. You know, maybe you shouldn't have the expectation of not being, you know, if you're recording people in public. There's a thought. Okay. 2 stories are really share a similar issue. Smart glasses are normalizing the use of always-on cameras, microphones, and AI features in the form that is much easier to conceal than a phone. That creates an unwanted privacy problem for people around the wearer. So from our point of view, smart glasses sit at the intersection of consumer privacy, surveillance tech, and potential for abuse. And that is really true. This is neat here. If facial recognition features ever become common in smart glasses, much of their effectiveness will depend on how much information you readily have available about you online. This is why I have been beating the drum for years. Privacy is not about the one point in time. It's not about just right now what's going on. What it has to do with more often than anything else is it has to do with the constant spread of your information through the constant use of phone applications, other digital services, and other things that are feeding data networks. That is what allows this stuff to work. And so if you've been following in the footsteps of things we've been talking about for a while, you're going to not have as many problems, you know. But if you've been constantly over here just doing all of these different things, well, then, you know, whatever they're doing. Now, here's why I kind of wanted to talk about this. They did this week. One day after discovery, Meta pulls the facial recognition code from its smart glasses. So they quietly embedded an unreleased facial recognition system into the app. Now, it says on more than 50 million phones. This is the app that is on phones that allows you to control and basically interfaces with your smart glasses. Okay, that's what's going on here. So the app that controls the smart glasses spew out some code on a system called NameTag. So the most recent version of Meta AI, the companion app for the line of smart glasses, strips out the unactivated software components that powered the system Meta internally called NameTag. The feature is purely exploratory. They added no final decisions have been made on what to do. Yeah, which is why you pushed out the code to 50 million apps, Meta. That's a problem, you see. And so Wired reported that Meta had quietly integrated substantial portions of NameTag into the AI system. Though never publicly enabled, the feature was designed to convert faces captured by glasses into unique biometric signatures, comparing them against a database of face prints. One memo reportedly described it releasing it during a dynamic political environment when privacy and civil liberty advocates would be distracted. This is the sign of pure evil, folks. Okay. Yes, we're going to get this thing ready, and as soon as everyone's not looking at us because they're looking at some terrible thing going on in the world, we're going to release it. Hey, maybe they released it because of that Carmelo Anthony thing this week, you know? They were intending on starting a bunch more race riots this weekend, but it backfired. So maybe that's what they silently rolled it out. Oh, crap! The race riots didn't happen! Pull it back! Pull it back! Okay. But, like, they're literally talking in their background board meetings like, hey, let's get this seriously dystopian thing that nobody's going to like, and we'll just roll it out during turmoil so nobody sees what we're doing. That is a sign of an evil company. All right. Stone dismissed the findings, writing the company couldn't answer questions about how the system would work because the feature doesn't exist. There's nothing to see here. It doesn't exist. Bosworth, Meadows' chief technology officer, called the reporting incredibly misleading and absolutely dishonest. It is incredibly misleading that you told everybody what we were up to. We wanted race riots! Oh boy. Whether the data would ever be sent back to Meta servers is questionable. That's one of the questions asked. Hey, is this data going back to Meta servers? No comment. How long will you retain data? No comment. What about unrecognized people? No comment. Partnerships with Flock? No comment. You know, no, they did not ask about partnerships with Flock. I wish they had, but gone is the face recognition software itself, along with the code that ran the name tag recognition process and the person recognized alert the app would have shown if someone was identified. This also means that these glasses do have facial recognition in them. They just don't have the drivers, which is on the app. Interesting. And so Crockford, Director in Technology of Liberty Program of the ACLU of Massachusetts, says removal did not undo the original decision to ship the code and pointed to it as evidence that consumer privacy needs stronger legal protections than Congress has been willing to provide. I will agree with that. So state lawmakers need to do their job and step up to protect consumer privacy. Meta's sneaky tactics slipping the face recognition code into the smart glasses show exactly why data privacy bills need teeth for stronger enforcement. Companies like Meta prioritize their bottom line, so lawmakers need to speak the only language the C-suite understands. I agree with that. So that was not the only crazy evil thing that we see Facebook doing. It also turns out that the scammers' majority are on Meta, and I already talked about that client of mine that, we go in there and have to deal with Meta scams over there constantly. So this is a report out of the UK. A report out of the UK revealed that Meta's platform accounts for over 2/3 of fraud reports made by its customers. This is Lloyd Bank. 68% of fraud reports from its customers start on a Meta-owned platform. Lloyd said customers reported losing an estimated £66 million a year after falling victim to scam ads on Meta platforms, up from $27 million in 2023. That's like a threefold increase. Okay. The victim demographic isn't who you'd guess. Lloyd says the customers in their late 20s and early 30s, supposed digital natives, are reporting the scams at a highest rate. And I'll tell you why that is. Number one, this age group, which is younger than me, this age group, number one, is they are more accustomed to advertising and more susceptible to it. Okay, me, I get something builds in me in rage when I see ads. Like, you can't market to me. You can't do it. But that's one of them. Advertising is part of their culture. And I have a friend in this age group that he doesn't run an ad blocker in his browser. I'm like, how do you do that? Well, I want to help support the sites. I get that, but that's crazy. Okay. Patreon, there you go. switchedtolinux.com. Oh boy. The other reason is that because this generation was raised on technology, this is the generation they had Google accounts and Microsoft accounts when they went into schools. They had these accounts when they first set up. Because of that, They are accustomed to answering every question that pops up on the screen. This is why these people are more accustomed to answering quizzes on social media, handing their data to Cambridge Analytica and Facebook. Go figure. So yeah, it is the younger generation that appears to be more susceptible to the financial scams. So Meta says it's doing plenty. A Meta spokesperson lied by saying that they removed 159 million scam ads last year alone. 92% of them we took down before anyone ever reported them. That's what they said. However, internal documents estimate roughly 10% of the company's advertising revenue came from scam ads and ads for banned, illicit, low-quality goods and services. So documents also estimate that users were shown around 15 billion high-risk scam ads every single day. So we should do something about that, right? Right? Cue that Star Wars meme, right? We should do something about that, right? Yeah. Internal documents said that the company earned as much as $7 billion a year from high-risk scam ads. The county also alleges that Meta built guardrails to prevent anti-scam measures from reducing the advertising revenue too much. Yes, internal documents. Not only do the internal documents say, hey, let's roll out controversial privacy stuff when there's political disruption going on so people don't see what we're doing. They also say, hey, how can we maximize our profits pushing scam ads while still making it look like we might be doing something about it? These people are just evil. The love of money has rotted their hearts so badly. In fact, in the words of the book of James, the silver and gold has rotted and the has rusted, and it will become a witness against your flesh. I mean, come on, guys. Federal judge in California refused to dismiss key claims in two different cases against Meta that the lawsuits brought by fraud victims alleged scammers used Meta's advertising and AI tools to create and optimize fraudulent ads. These scammers are using Meta's tools. They're suing. Facebook's like, hey, we can't be held liable for the scams, and the judge is going to let them go ahead and go to trial. That's nice. The plaintiff argued that Meta made a platform that is a genuine co-conspirator in the creation of the offending content. And of course, Meta denies any wrongdoing. You know, they just have these back-end deals about how do we keep the scam ads going because we make money off of them. Gold and silver is turned to rust, and the rust will be a witness against you. So yeah, there is my general take. Meta's doing a lot of things right now that an evil company tends to be doing. So let me know your thoughts about all that. Do you still use Facebook? How do you protect yourself from the crazy wiles that it's doing? And could you even consider getting off of it? I realize some people are forced to be there. Some people choose to be there even though it's dangerous. And as long as you're aware of the dangers, I would say you're in a lot better shape than some other people. So let me know your thoughts about all that in the comments down below.